the alpha and beta of the Midwest and go for her. Ethan grabbed his phone from the coffee table and called Winter before I could suggest it. "I'm fine," she said immediately once she was on the line. "Sebastian called already. Don't worry about me. If someone comes through my door, they will be exiting without body parts that I assure you they will likely miss. That is, if they manage to leave." I heard the click of metal in the background. Winter's home was set up as if she was expecting a siege at all times. It was a peculiar way to live, but at the moment I was appreciative of her paranoia and over-the-top protection efforts. "Winter's fine," he offered, tossing his phone back on the table. He continued as if his story had never been interrupted. "They were missing and the trail was cold. We had no idea who was taking them, until they made a fatal mistake. They took a witch." "A witch? Were they just collecting supernaturals?" He shook his head. "No. They were hunting were-animals. For sport. And people paid a lot of money for the privilege. The witches were just for entertainment." He grimaced. Asking a level 1 witch to perform magic equivalent to the tricks that a children's magician or cruise ship entertainer does is insulting to them. It's about as insulting as someone wanting to keep one of us as a pet. Or hunt us like natural animals. Steel gray overtook his eyes, and he closed them, taking a moment to calm himself. My thoughts immediately went to David and Trent and their fascination with Josh and his magic. They weren't above asking him to perform trite tricks. I groaned softly. "David and Trent ask Josh to perform magic all the time," I admitted. Calmed, Ethan gave me a half-smile. "Josh isn't that easily offended. Besides, he likes Trent and David." "Who took the witches and the were-animals?" I prompted. "Ronan Everest. We still don't know how he found out about us, and why he went the route he did. I guess he'd planned to find success in the underground entertainment industry. He gave hunters the opportunity to hunt animals that were smarter than the ones you find in nature. We had no idea what he was going to use the witches for, other than entertainment. He knew enough about were-animals and our dynamics to know to go after the smaller packs. They didn't have the same resources as the larger ones. I'm not sure that he wouldn't have become more confident and tried the larger packs. The smaller packs could have been practice." "You were able to find his location by tracking the witch's blood?" He nodded. "The witches were more than happy to help us do it." Apprehension made me hesitate before continuing with my questioning, partly because I knew the answer. "Is he still alive?" Ethan shook his head. "Nor are any of the people who thought it was okay to hunt us." His voice held no remorse, and I didn't expect any. "You think it's a copycat? A friend? Maybe even someone who worked with him in the past?" "It seemed as if he was working alone. He'd had a few hunters help capture were-animals, but they were just work for hire, not part of his plan." "What happened to them?" "Chris is what happened to them. She's dedicated to her job and even more so to the reputation of hunters. Others working for humans and ultimately hurting people in the other world wasn't good for business. She can be ruthless when crossed." "I didn't know we were back to stating the obvious. Welcome back, Captain. I've missed you." An hour had passed, and Sebastian hadn't called back, nor was he answering any of Ethan's calls. I cringed each time Ethan passed me as he traveled the length of the room. His frustration, anger, and anxiety had started off as a nagging feeling that had quickly escalated to a raging firestorm of emotions. Ethan's hands were clenched into balls. I figured it was just a matter of time before he needed to do something to expend some of the energy pinned inside of him.
"Sebastian should have called by now. Something's wrong."
He stopped pacing.
"I have to go see."
He grabbed his phone and headed for the door. He stopped abruptly when I grabbed my things and started to follow.
"Sky,